All right, here's some instructions on how to get everything started for your portfolio website for Web Design 2. You're going to go to HTML5 up and we're going to get the editorial template. So, to show you kind of how to do this from scratch, you would scroll down until you find the editorial template. There it is. You're going to click on free download, give it a minute. It will download it. You can just throw it on the desktop for now. That would be fine. We're going to have to move things around anyway. So it's kind of okay. Then you're going to give it a click, and more than likely, if you're on a computer in my room, it will open with pzip, which is an unzipping program. We're going to extract all of these files. Again, you can have it go to the desktop. I usually extract into a new folder. And so then hit OK and give it a minute. Okay, and then we can get out of pzip, but you're going to want to go out to your desktop. And so hopefully it made a new folder. Here it is, HTML5 up editorial. So it made me a folder. And what you're going to need is to copy the parts I tell you to copy in the instructions. Oops, wrong page. So if you look here, tell you to extract all, and inside of the extracted file, we're going to copy the index page, the assets folder, and the images folder to your website folder. So you should already have a folder for our class, but we're going to take the images, I'm going to hold control, the assets, and the index file. We don't need the other pages. So control C or right click and copy, and then go to your website folder for the class, which you may very well already have things in. Oh, that's not your folder. You should have a Who folder in here. Don't leave the Who folder where it is. We're just going to paste these right here. So you will also have a Who folder. I'll just make one so that it looks more like what yours would look like at this point. Okay, so it's going to be like this. And then this will now become the main index page of your website for the class. So if I double click it right now, you'll see it. It will come up like this, and then you've got changes to make to the page. So everybody will start with this basic setup of our page. Okay. And then in Dreamweaver, you're going to open your index page and they're going to edit it. And then the first day edits that are listed here, and I don't normally walk you through all the edits, but since this is the first one, in case you're having trouble making sense of the template, I wanted to help you out with it. So it says for reference, look at the elements file in the extracted desktop folder. This is going to show you some of the built-in styles. So if I go back to that extracted folder on the desktop, the one that has the HTML5 up in it, I can come and look at elements, and this is going to just show you some of the setups. You can see we've got multi-column setups. We've got buttons. You can see they have hover effects to them. The various levels of heading, various text. That way you can see what things look like. Here's something called fit, fit plus small, icons. We've got all kinds of different things here, what our lists are going to look like. Lots of different items that are just built into this template. So if we use block quote, the block quotes will look like this. If you insert a table, the default table will look like this. There's a box that you can use, and the box will look like that. So you can see there's all kinds of different ones on here. And in our classroom, I'm pretty sure that you can't inspect element. I don't know if I can even do it in here. They have it turned off in the school settings where we can't really inspect. It's like grayed out. I don't think I have Firefox on this computer. If you have Firefox, you can inspect element in Firefox. But anyway, you can basically see that you've got these different items and what they're called in here. And we can investigate the CSS page if we really wanted to. If you get into the assets folder, you'll see a CSS folder. And then there's a Font Awesome CSS page, which they link to. And then there's the main CSS page. Now I'm just going to open this in Notepad. You would open it in Dreamweaver, but you can basically see what's happening here. They import the Font Awesome. They also import a Google font called Open Sans. Those are the first two things that they do. And then they reset all of the elements with a reset command here. So margins of 0, padding 0, border 0, all of that to all of the main elements. That's part of this template. Then they start building it all back up. Body has a line height of 1. ULs and OLs have a list style of none. block quotes in queue, and then you can see what they've added, table, and so forth. As you go through here, you can see all of the settings that this person has already set. So here's all of our headings. Headings 1 through 6, they are a certain color, they're a certain font, a certain font weight. All of that stuff is already built in for us. So they've basically recoded all of the basic elements of the page, even down to the HRs. So you can kind of look through that to give you an idea of what is set up in the template. I do tell you to get out a sheet of paper and make some notes because it would be handy later on to kind of look at them. Like I said, you're not going to be able to do it in Chrome, but you usually can, or you can view source. You can at least view the source in Chrome. So here's the elements one. If I right click and view the page source, you can see basically how some of these things are created. For instance, the Twitter icon in the corner is created basically using this class, icon, brands, and FA Twitter. So it's probably coming from some version of Font Awesome that they've got installed. And then you choose the Twitter one and it puts it there. And that's why we've got that at the top of the page here. So as you go through, you can kind of see it's pretty clean code. We haven't learned all of these parts yet, but these classes that have to do with columns have to do with what's called Bootstrap, which is something that we'll be learning very soon. But the basic, heading levels are here, basic lists are here. You can see there's nothing fancy going on with these. They've just styled the CSS already for us to make these look differently. But if we needed to use any of the standard tags, you can kind of look through here and see what they look like. So anyway, that's just your basic introduction there. Also note whether you see some other additional things in here. For instance, there's a special list called alternate. So when you go in here and you look at the second set of lists, oh, well, there's a table that says alternate. So there's the main table and the second one. And then there's the alternate list. There's unordered, ordered, and alternate. So if we view the source on that, you can then look for that alternate list. I'm just going to Control F and find the word alternate to make it easier to find it. So you can see here, basically, it's just a UL with a class called alt. So if I wanted to use that alternate list, that's all I have to do. Okay, so you're going to take a few minutes and use view source and look through these items and make some notes. And then once you've done that, you're going to do some basic text updates and do these in Dreamweaver. But you can see here, you're going to modify the title tab. In the small print near the top, you're going to change the words. I said web design 1. That should be web design 2. Anyway, and then there's some additional element changes you're going to make to like the buttons. You're going to type a paragraph and so forth. So anyway, this just kind of gets you started on what's going on and how to unzip and extract those files to your site folder.